Welcome back to Windsong Intuition. Today I thought I'd do something a little different. I do want to do my focus of the week weekly if it's possible, but for this week I thought I would do a pick a card, sort of a Mercury Retrograde special. This is a time when with Mercury Retrograde, and Mercury's not the only planet in retrograde. There are actually a lot of planets in retrograde, and we're going to be having a couple of eclipses. It's a very trying time for a lot of people emotionally, and usually during a Mercury retrograde it's not a time to move forward with anything new. This is a time of reflecting on the past and working through those past issues so that you're better able to move forward. It may seem counterintuitive, but sometimes there are things that are holding us back, and we need to be able to work through that in order to move forward. And so that's what this reading is going to be about. And I do want to give a little warning here first. This is a general reading, so take from it what you feel is for you and leave the rest. And the reason I say that is because sometimes, because it is a general reading, there are messages for people in there that aren't going to apply for you, but they do need to hear it. The other thing is that because we'll be working on past issues and whatever may be blocking you or keeping you from moving forward, there may be some unsettling things that come up in the reading. It might even be triggering, but just know that it's all for the positive. It's all to help you move past it, and it's all for your greater good, and you're not going to be told anything that isn't going to help you be able to move past it. This reading is also going to be a timeless reading, so if you see this several years later, Mercury retrograde happens all the time, so this reading, if you're pulled to it, is still going to be relevant for you. Now, I've already prayed over and blessed the cards and set my intentions for all of that. If you're familiar with pick a card, then you know what to do, but if you're new to pick a card, what you'll do is you'll take a couple of deep breaths, and then you'll focus on either pile 1, pile 2, or pile 3, and you'll decide intuitively which one you feel is for you. If you're having trouble doing this, what helps me is I like to imagine the reader actually pulling each of the decks to me, getting ready for the reading, and I'll either have a gut feeling or I'll hear in my head, no, that's not it, or maybe. And it's okay if you're drawn to more than one pile. You don't have to just stick with one pile. You can watch the sections for 2 of them or all of them. And I will try to put the timestamps down so you don't have to sit there and scroll through and try to find which pile is yours. So go ahead and pause the video right now if you want to, and focus on which pile you feel is for you. And then when we come back, I will start with Group 1's reading. Okay, Group 1. If you chose pile 1, this reading is for you on what you may need to do to work through past issues, or what past issues you need to work through. And I have some tarot cards and then some oracle cards here. And this is the Llewelyn Tarot. And I find that this really works well with past issues. It's very to the point, but without being too harsh. But it gives some very clear answers. And I haven't looked at any of these cards, so this will be new for me to look at as well. So we'll go ahead and get started here. And I don't usually read reversal, so we'll go ahead and put that upright and see what you've got going on. Okay, so right away what I'm seeing is that you have been thinking about the past a lot. This is something that's on your mind. I'm reading intuitively, so give me a second to just get the message through. You know, I feel like for those of you in Group 1, especially here with this 6 of Pentacles, that I feel like you're feeling some kind of either resentment or negativity, or maybe even anger about how much you're giving, and you're feeling like either people aren't appreciating it or they're not giving back, and they're just taking and taking and taking. And I feel like this is something that you're at the point now where you're not wanting to give anymore, which is not, I don't feel that's part of your nature. It's in your nature to want to give, but I feel like you've been giving so much, and maybe even to the wrong people, that they're just taking, and it's made you either cynical or resentful to the point where you're not wanting to help anybody anymore, and you're just wanting to step back. And I feel like this is an issue that you need to sit back and remember, possibly remember those people don't represent everybody that needs help. And while the universe doesn't always want us to just pick and choose who we help, sometimes there's a limit. If you help somebody a couple of times and they're just going to have the same problem over and over again, it may be time for them to start helping themselves, because they're using you or other people as a crutch to not move forward themselves. I feel like you're also a very intuitive person and empathic, and this may be affecting you negatively, because all that emotion that you're feeling and all of the emotion from them being takers is affecting you, and it's dragging your own spirit down. And I feel like this is something that has actually put you in a financial bind yourself a couple of times. I feel like right now you're looking for other options and other ways to use your giving spirit without having to give up anything monetarily, because you feel like you're just feeling resentful about that, and so you're trying to find some other way of giving without it hurting you and just making you really angry or depressed about it. So let's look at what some of the oracle cards are. Move these up. I want to make sure that you can see them. You have strength, heart healing, and relief. Yeah, you've been helping people to the point where you're feeling, I don't want to say weak about it, but you're just feeling drained. So you really need to, during this time, go back and find what gives you your strength. Go back and find what makes you happy. And those are the things that are going to give you your strength and give you the motivation to want to help again. Because this is weighing really heavy on your heart. And so you need to internalize this in the sense of working through it and figuring out how it happened. Maybe assign, I don't want to say assign blame, but put those people who have hurt you the most and have done this to you the most in a separate box from everybody else who really does need your help. So that way you can prioritize who's going to be grateful, who's actually going to learn from whatever mistakes they may be in or whatever advice you may be giving, and move forward with that and become better. And that is going to give you the relief you need. You're going to start to feel like you're helping again, because right now, because you've closed all this off about yourself, you're feeling so stressed because you feel like you're going against your own nature and you're feeling guilty. And I don't think that you should feel guilty. I think at this point, as long as you can go back and figure out how you got to this point and who may be responsible, or groups of people that may be responsible, you'll be able to move past this, and you're going to find that relief. It's going to heal you. You're going to feel strong again, and you're going to feel as though you're doing your life purpose by helping. I also have an animal spirit, be at home. Yeah, so right now, when I see this, the be at home, a lot of times, because I've been in this situation myself, when you're helping out so many people and you feeling taken advantage of, you sort of bunker down and you sort of want to stay at home, and you just want to stay within your own walls, so to speak, and not venture out and not help anybody, not do anything. You just want to be with yourself and with your own family unit for a while. And that's good. It's good to not help others to the expense that it's hurting yourself. but at the same time, you're not feeling at home within your own spirit. And so I think for you, in order to be at home, it's not going to necessarily be your physical home. You need to figure out where home is in your heart. You need to figure out where home is in your spirit. And I do believe that it's a giving spirit, and that if you work through this during this retrograde, work through this and figure out how it came to be and how you can fix it and how you can best, use your giving spirit, you're going to feel at home in yourself. You're going to find that relief. So I really hope that this is a message that resonates with you, Group 1, and I wish you all the best of luck during this Mercury retrograde. And as you can see, it's affecting my speech because I'm stumbling over my words. And so I hope you all have a really great day. Hello, Group 2. So if you chose Pile 2, this reading is for you. And as I explained to Group 1, I'm using the Llewelyn Tarot. And this is really great for working on the past. At least it has been for me. It's to the point without being too harsh. And I am going to be reading intuitively. So it'll take me a second once I turn the cards over. And I haven't seen them. So this will be a surprise for me as well. And if any of the cards come up reversed, I tend to turn them upright. Wow, so you guys have been feeling a lot of conflict, actually. I'm just gonna look at the cards for just a second, just to get whatever messages are coming through. And speaking of messages, you have the page here. All right, so right away I'm feeling like your higher self, which is a strong individual, is wanting to give you a message, and this is about your internal conflict that you're feeling right now. I feel like you guys are, look at this, is like, it's almost the same imagery here. You're feeling as though you're not sure what decision to make, and you're feeling stuck because of it. The thing about the Eight of Swords that's really important to remember is that she's not in a situation that she can't get out of. She may be blindfolded, she may be surrounded by swords, she may be on the rocks, but this is not strong enough to really tie her down. She's really there out of her own fear. And I feel like, during this Mercury retrograde, if you really think about what is it that you're afraid of? What is this internal conflict about? What are you not wanting to face? Because I really feel like you've known you've needed to work on this, whatever it is. So I'm actually going to pull over the Oracle cards and see if we can find out exactly. Okay. All right. So this has got something to do with grief. Okay. You're grieving over something. You're feeling conflicted over something. Maybe you're feeling as though you're to blame for something. Maybe you're grieving the loss. This doesn't have to be physical loss over death. This could be a loss of a relationship or a loss of a family dynamic or a situation. So I feel like this is what you are internally struggling with right now. But just know that you have divine protection. You are being watched over, and you're being loved, and you need to pull this energy more into yourself and release this grief. You need to let go of it, and you need to release it, and you need to not be blaming yourself or grieving so deeply that you are stuck. Right now, I feel like you are grieving to the point over something. It doesn't even have to be big. It could be something really, really small. My car isn't working right, or whatever it is that's you're grieving over. There's something that it's really caused you to become stagnant. It's caused you to feel stuck. It's caused you to feel like you don't know which way to go, and you're feeling as though you've lost the strength that you have naturally. This could also be revolved around a male figure or a masculine energy. This doesn't necessarily even have to be you. This could just be something who's part of the situation here. And I feel like one of the ways that will help you move past this is your creativity. Sometimes whenever we're grieving or we're feeling stuck, we do the same thing every day, routinely. We kind of get in a rut. We don't do anything different to kind of shake things up, and we just sort of wallow in it. And when we do that, and we stagnate, that just kind of drives us further into it, and we don't see a way out. So it may seem like it's a totally opposite situations here, but do something that doesn't involve what it is you're grieving over. Get creative, write, draw, sew. Even get creative with maybe redecorate your house, or do something creative with your own physical appearance. Just anything at all that is creative. Sit down, write down ideas, start getting your brain working on something productive and that will make you feel good. And that will help you work past this. That will help break you out of that stagnation, and that will help move you past that grief, because then you won't be perpetuating it by feeling that you're stuck. You'll actually start to feel as though you're moving forward and moving past it, and you'll be focusing on this instead of this, and focusing on the creativity. Each day you'll be able to do that a little bit longer and a little bit longer, and before you know it, this isn't going to be what's at the forefront of your mind all the time. This is what's going to give you your joy. Tend to the small things. So see, that's what this is. This is right now. This is the small things. This is your big thing. So start focusing on those little things that will take your mind off of this. Focus on the details of a creative project. Focus on the details of your house. Anything that you're overlooking because you're stuck in this rut day by day. And I really feel like because you've got this divine protection going on, you're going to start to feel better, and you're going to start remembering that you are loved and that you are worthy and that you are important. And I want you all to really remember that. I know this is a difficult time, and this next month it's going to be hard for a lot of people, but please keep remembering that you are loved and that you are worthy, and just keep that in your mind and work on even if it's little bitty details, get those little minute details going, work on something creative, and you are going to start to heal and move past this. I really hope that this resonated for you, Group 2, and I really hope you all have a really great day. Okay, Group 3, if you chose Pile 3, this reading is for you, and I will be reading intuitively, and this... I haven't seen these cards yet, but this is the Llewelyn Tarot deck, and this is really great for working on past issues. It's very to the point without being too harsh. And so we'll turn these over. Okay. And I'm going to take just a second to see what I'm picking up from these. Okay, right now what I'm seeing, most of these cards are actually really positive. You've got a lot of bounty going on. You've got a lot of people who think you're doing really great, and the hard work you're doing is being celebrated. You're being told that, which is really making you feel great. But I really think is what's going on right now, and this is something I think that you do a lot, is you're just carrying way too much. You're doing way too much. You are taking on way too much. And I feel like this is an issue that you have a lot, that you feel like in order to get this, you have to keep doing more and more and more and more. I'm going to take this, I'm going to do this because people love me when I do this. People celebrate me when I do this. I feel like I have a lot when I do this. And you're kind of leaving a few things behind. you're starting to get to the point where things might be starting to drop because you just can't carry it all and you're feeling weighed down. And that's something I want you to be cognizant of. I'm going to pull the oracle cards here. Oh, awareness. Yeah, I feel like this one was in the middle. Yeah, I don't think that you're even aware that you're really doing this. I mean, you may be feeling the tiredness and the fatigue from it, but you are not fully aware that you're doing this, and you need to be. And I feel like you're taking on responsibilities, but you're not taking responsibility for yourself, and you're not taking responsibility for the fact that you are willingly taking on all of this. So what you really need to do is go with the flow more. Just like this card says, you need to, rather than feel like, what else can I add on? What else can I do? How else can I get this celebration going? Kind of chill out. Take a break. Go on a vacation. Tell people for the next few weeks, I'm sorry, I'm really just got too many irons in the fire and I need to pull back for a little while. And people that really love you and really care and really know you will understand that. They really, really will. They will probably, since they are so cognizant of how much you're doing, they will probably have even been thinking to themselves that that you really need to pull back for a while and take a break. Go with the flow, get some rest, and really think about in that time, how else can you get this feeling? I feel like you're trying to suspend that feeling for as long as you can, and there may be other ways. In fact, I know there are other ways that you can get this without weighing yourself down so much. Pick one or two things, or just one thing to really focus on. Whatever your passion is, really get into your awareness. Meditate if you are into that. Take some baths, take some long walks. Sit back and you're juggling so much right now that you're sort of missing the forest for the trees. You really need to pull back and start being more aware of everything around you. If you're juggling so much, you may be forgetting some things, and some things may be falling through the cracks. People in your life, other responsibilities that need to be taken care of, they're not getting your focus because you're just so busy trying to get this, and you already have it. It's going to be there anyway. So pull back and go with the flow a little bit more. Turn knowledge into wisdom. And so you've been doing this so much, it's sort of like you're too smart, that you're doing some unsmart things, especially with yourself and your own health. You need to do some self-care. Instead of working harder, work smarter. Turn that knowledge into wisdom. There's a big difference between knowing facts and actually having wisdom. They're two different things, and I feel like this is what's going to apply for you in your daily life. I feel like this is something, for whatever reason in your past, you feel like you need to maintain this. Maybe you didn't get enough attention or positive attention when you were younger, and once you started getting it, you're afraid of letting that go. Or maybe you came from a family home where you were really held up. Maybe you were an athlete, or maybe you were an artist or a singer, and you were just or even a dancer, and that was how you got your attention, and people loved that about you so much, and you were so good at it that you feel like that's the only way people love you, and that's not true. They're going to love you anyway. And so during this retrograde, I want you to really step back and become aware, go with the flow more, and figure out how you can achieve this feeling, or this sense of this feeling without weighing yourself down, because it's going to be there anyway. And I don't want you to be stressing yourself out over maintaining it. So I really hope this reading was relevant for you, and that this maybe helps you be more aware so that you can work on this and that will help your health and your physical health and your mental health be better and stronger. So Group 3, I wish you all the best of luck and have a good day.